please.
The agenda was posted on Thursday, July 31st, 2025 at 3:55 p.m.
Thank you, ma'am. At this time, we'll have a moment of silence and followed by a pledge to both flags. So if you would, please stand.
From the pledge, allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas pledge, honor the flag, and pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you. We are going to rearrange the agenda just a little bit this morning, and I think the first thing we want to do today is turn it over to Commissioner Wilson and recognize the Riesel High School softball team. And why don't you share with us about what they've done and why they're here?
Wow, it's been 5 years of my life. I've been involved with these young ladies here and the coaches and the school at Riesel, and it's meant a whole lot to me, and it's deep in my heart. And there's not a whole lot that we can do as a court, of course, but we have a proclamation today that we're going to read, and I'm so excited about it. We have a nice plaque, and it's going to explain some things for us. But this team has a heart, and I'm going to speak a little bit more when we get through reading the proclamation. So. This is my executive assistant here, Tracy, and she's a very eloquent reader, a lot better than your open police chief. So this is our plaque we're going to give you.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Judge Pro Tem. In recognition of the outstanding achievements of the Riesel Lady Indians 2024-2025 softball team, in a season that will stand as a defining moment in Riesel's history, the Lady Indians softball team blazed a trail all the way to the 2025 UIL Softball State Championship, becoming the first girls team in school history to reach this extraordinary milestone. With grit, discipline, and unwavering heart, these young women set a new standard for excellence on and off the field. They shattered records, defied expectations, and captured the heart of their community. Their legacy is not just marked by wins, but by courage, unity, and the unshakable bond of a team that believed in something bigger than themselves. The Riesel Lady Indians' achievements are a testament to their relentless determination, teamwork, and passion for the game. Their historic season reflects not only athletic excellence, but also a deep commitment to overcoming challenges and representing their community with pride and strength. Most valuable players, Landry Pick and Kylie Benton. Offensive most valuable players, Lauren Summers and Roselle Shapiro. Defensive most valuable players, Kennedy Guardiola and Saviva Martiotti. Hard Hustle Award, Addison Cope and Camden Benton. Most Improved, Molly Summers. Special Utility Players, Lena Schmitz, Kaylin Price, and Chloe Ostrander. Home Run Record for Landry Pick, career 59, the 2025 season 16. And Pitching Strikeout Record for Kylie Benton, career 892, 2025 season 230. Special recognition is given to the Riesel Lady Indians softball coaching staff, Don Johnson, Savannah Martinez, Catherine Reed, Robert Little, Brandon Cope, and Zachary Cecil, whose steady leadership carried this team through a season marked by adversity, growth, and grit. Their ability to guide, uplift, and challenge these athletes laid the foundation for a powerful one that defied the odds. To the entire Riesel Lady Indian softball team, your strength, heart, and bond as a team turned obstacles into opportunities and wrote a new chapter in school history. Presented by McLennan County Commissioners Jim Smith, D.L. Wilson, Will Jones, Ben Perry, and Judge Scott Felton. Congratulations to the entire Riesel Lady Indian softball team for your remarkable accomplishments. Your resilience and determination exemplify the spirit of true competition and the unwavering pride of your school and community. Again, congratulations.
You only do this, you do this for your families. You start this at first with your families. You're there for your families, and then you're there for the school, then you're there for the community, and then you're there for the whole county, McLean County, and that's what I represent now as McLean County. So I'm so proud of you all. You had adversity, you know, with Coach going down, and I pray to God he's here with y'all every day. It makes me feel good that he's here for y'all. So, Coach Little is athletic director at Riesel, and he loves these ladies too, and he takes care of them. So, like I said, I've been with y'all for 5 years, and I miss y'all. Oh, let's take some pictures. I know.
Like his kids.
Coach Savannah's not here right now today. What's she having to learn today?
We're gonna shift 2 steps to your right.
To the right,
Yeah,
let's move to the right, to the right.
That's like 6 steps. That's my good. I can't see you, sir. I could. Where? Okay, I can see everyone if you stay right. Yeah, it'll take about 10 pictures.
Yeah.
One, two, three. Mercedes, I'm sorry, can you just scoot back just a tad bit?
Oh, she's got maroon on.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3, stay with me, don't move, don't breathe. Don't breathe. Okay, stay there.
She usually has to stand on a chair, but she's good today.
Dude, what?
No, no.
You gotta work with me after the other day, you gotta work. Stay right there. Awesome, okay. Can I get the other commissioners, please?
Sick today, so he's on the video, but he's not here today.
Yes.
Oh.
That's awesome. Smile, Commissioner. Stay right there, last one. Perfect.
Can we get cookies now? You want to finish my deal?
Let's go ahead real quickly if we can, and let's get this approved. And then we'll take a quick recess for that. Good. I need a motion to approve M2.
I motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Hang on, ladies, and we'll go outside and get some cookies and drink.
No further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Commissioner Smith did remind me that I skipped right over public comment, and I'm kind of glad I did, because if anyone's here to speak, they got to see a heart of a champion here
Yeah,
today.
that's
So
right.
That's good. Is there anyone here that would wish to speak in public comment? Okay, thank you. With that being said, let's recess for 5 minutes and go out and cookies and punch and celebrate these young ladies and their coaches.
Follow him out.
if we could, well, we need Commissioner Wilson. He's got.
Recording in progress.
Could you step outside and let Commissioner Wilson know
Yes.
that we'll need him in here to do these ratifications?
Yeah.
And just so everyone knows, after this is complete, we'll start with Tom Ray, then we'll have Mr. Mundo on, and then Kevin, you guys, John, y'all go after that.
Do we want to do consent while we're waiting?
You want to do the consent?
You want to do the consent?
There's a couple pulls.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that since he likes to talk a little bit, I think, so. If we could, let's move down to E at this time, to the consent agenda. The recommended pulls are E3A and E3B, both HR matters. Does anyone have another item they'd like to pull for discussion? Hearing none, I'll need a motion to accept the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion does carry. Let's see, trying to.
See if there's anything else.
I tell you what, let's just do this while we're waiting. Is Anna on? Here he comes right there.
I'm on.
Commissioner, we're at D1 and D2 now. We've got the consent agenda knocked out. If you would take care of D1 and D2.
D1 and D2. Okay, we have, let me see which one's which. D1, we're just going to do this is for Mr. Jason Forbes. We honored him a couple weeks ago, but we didn't have him in the courtroom. I just want to make a motion to ratify that proclamation.
Okay, we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. D2.
D2 is a proclamation recognizing and honoring Mrs. Flores Elizabeth Campbell, 102 years old, and she lives in Precinct 2 out there, and we love to have her, and I'm not going to read that to her, but I just want to put it in record. I make a motion for the proclamation.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Other than the water must be good out there.
Yeah.
102. That's great.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. At this time, if we could, let's go to G3. Tom, you ready, sir?
Commissioner, if it's okay, I'll give just a little bit of background, then I'll turn it over to Tom. So back in June, we had approved the master engineering and consulting agreement with LAN, and with the intent of bringing these work orders forward. So this is the first work order under that system. So Tom, do you want to kind of step through this work order?
Sure, Dustin, thank you, and I appreciate all your help, by the way, in getting this in front of the commissioners. And let me start by saying LAN continues to appreciate working with the county. This master agreement will allow us some flexibility in how we do that. One of the first work order is focused on two water matters. One is the McLennan County Water Resources Group, which is actually unprecedented, I believe, in the state of Texas for a county to take this much leadership in looking at water issues within the county. We have some difficult issues, and McLennan County has stepped up and had a number of meetings with leaders throughout McLennan County. A couple of projects done through the Bureau of Reclamation and Water Smart Planning to look at arsenic, particularly in the eastern part of the county. So part of our work order is to continue that work, and I think it is a very beneficial thing to be going on with all the activity and growth, industrial development coming to McLennan County. The other item on the work order is regarding the Central Texas Water Alliance. That Central Texas Water Alliance is with Bell County. So Judge Felton and Judge Blackburn have collaborated closely on the Central Texas Water Alliance. That's an opportunity to join forces, if you will, with Bell County, which is also having some, like all of Central Texas, growth issues that will translate eventually into water demand, and how you meet those demands as a collective rather than individually will have some economic benefit for the county. Those are the two things, but I would mention that the price tag is not to exceed. So don't really know how much activity is going to be required. If there's less activity than the price tag, then certainly we won't charge those costs and the entire dollar amount there, the not to exceed amount. So unless there's questions, Judge, that's what I've got.
Any questions or comments? Okay. If not, we probably need to approve this work order, so I need a motion to approve it.
So moved.
We have a second? Second. Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in.
Appreciate it.
This time, let's go to K3, Jason Mundo. I think, he was on the, I thought I saw him. There he is. All right. Jason, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great, thank you. How about you all this morning? Glad to be here.
We're doing wonderful, sir. This is regarding the Texas Parks and Wildlife Local Park Grant Program, grant application and project update. Sir, we'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Let's see if I can share a screen here. Okay, I have a site playing up on the screen. It's kind of aiding our conversation. The county asked Mundo and Associates to prepare a Parks Grant application again for Trading House Lake Park through the Texas Parks and Wildlife Program. And this process for this application started in the spring, where we met with the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department at a meeting in the Waco area to go over last year's application and the results of that. And as you know, as we know, we did not win the award last year. This park was not given a grant last year, but as it turned out, it was narrowly very close. The application from last year ended up on the line just below funding only by a couple of points. I think it was 3 points total. So we met with, and last year they had their largest number of applications ever. It was very competitive, and we just narrowly missed out. So it was a great application. So we're looking for ways we can improve it, to drill down further. And we talked with them, and we looked at ways to do that, to gain those additional points to get us into the funding zone. And as a result of that, they showed us where a couple things would need to be moved, a couple things or removed, and a couple things added. One thing that could not be funded by this grant was last time we proposed an extension of the beach at Park 1B at Hall Road there. Beach funding is not allowed in the federal funding because it's not a permanent item. It needs something that needs constant renewal, or they call it nourishment. So that's not fundable. So that was removed from this application. Similarly, there was proposed dredging at the boat docks at 1A and 1B, and a proposed jetty between them. Those were removed due to the required Corps of Engineer funding, and there was some uncertainty there by the Parks Department as to whether it could be funded. It would need a permit with the Corps, and so there was some doubt there. They asked that I coordinate with the Corps, and I did. And the Corps is very nice, very helpful, but they did feel that the lake was likely a waters of the U.S. and likely we would require permitting for that dredging and jetty improvement. This particular grant, the non-urban outdoor grant, is more designed for shore-based recreation improvements on land. And so it looks like it would, to eliminate any uncertainty, it'd be best to remove those two items from the grant application and just focus on things that would not have doubt in them in the scoring process. And those things are shown here on your site plan, shown on the screen. In the orange, we have an ADA accessible playground, 2 sand volleyball courts, also shown in orange. In green, there are 4 picnic sites with picnic tables and shade structures and barbecue grills, as well as an additional 5th ADA picnic site, which has a longer ADA accessible picnic table, an ADA accessible grill, a solar security light, another shade structure. All of these picnic sites have parking pads adjacent to them as well. There's also 4 RV pads shown in yellow. Those have water and electrical hookups, as well as the pad itself. You will see 2 very long walking trails. The longest is a loop of 3,300 feet, which is almost like 2/3 of a mile. And it includes 3 trail rest areas that have a solar security light, a bench, and the bench has an integrated shade canopy. The shade structures were seem to be a much desired item in the park scoring and park design due to the extreme Texas heat that we all experience every year. Let me see here. What update? Some of the here's a picture of the ADA inclusive playground. One of the scoring items that gets you a lot of points in this application is ADA accessibility. Here we show the ADA accessible playground proposed. It has not only integrated shade turrets, but it has a long wheelchair-sized ramp to access the play structure. It also has what's called a transfer station where a person can be hoisted onto the structure. And there are also ground-based play activity areas that have physical activity as well as mental engagement opportunities and sensory opportunities as well. So it's a multifaceted playground, ADA accessible in many ways, and it helps you get those points. Other ADA accessible features include the ADA walking trail, which is decomposed granite, nice and firm, but also ADA accessible and wide. And then there are of course, the ADA accessible picnic site as well. Another category that gets you point is sustainability features. And sustainability, one of the things, your recycled impact materials. So the picnic tables and the park benches, those types of things will be of recycled and low impact design materials, which are available through the Texas Buy Board. And some of those can be that HDPE sort of plastic material that's recycled, and all those available through the Buy Board and have low impact on the environment. And also the solar lighting is sustainable in that it's, conserves electricity. Solar lighting at the trail rest areas, the solar gate will be motored is powered by the solar panel as well. And an ADA picnic site has a solar light as well. And then a third category, which gets you extra points, where we considered and we provided items, was conservation. And that's like, how does it affect the environment? And the trail, the granite material is very porous, and because of that, it prevents stormwater runoff, so it's protecting the shoreline of the lake. In addition to that, it protects water quality because it's acting as a filter draining down into the ground and not bringing those particulates into the water directly. And here we show the estimate of probable cost. As a civil engineer, I'm a licensed civil engineer. I prepared this cost estimate, and our goal was to make it as very similar to last year and as possible. And it was around 500,000 last year, the county's match. So the total construction cost for this project is $984,000. Total construction means not only the materials but the installation. Total professional services is fixed at 12% by the grant, and that comes out to $118,186. And professional services is not only just engineering and design, but it's also things like any archaeological survey that has to be done, historical survey, if there's any land surveying that has to be done, and the TDLR accessibility reviews. That all falls under that professional services category, which comes out to a total project cost of $1,103,000. And of course, this is a grant, so it's split 50-50. The state would be providing the grant match or the grant requested funds of $551,000, $535, and the county's match is the same amount, the $551,535. So it's within 10% of what was requested last year. Obviously, there's been a lot of increases in cost in the economy in the last 12 months due to things we're seeing, in the United States. That being said, it's also within 10%. If it happens to match the required contingency that the state requires in the cost estimate. So we feel that it's right where, it's a good number. It's an accurate number, made up with data that using the Texas Buy Board and my engineering construction experience. And we'll show next how it will not impact the your budget process that you are all, I'm sure, in the middle of right now. Here we show the grant calendar, and this is very interesting. The application was, of course, due October 1st or August 1st. We just completed. The grant award, due to the large number of applications they get, the actual grant award is not till April and May of next year. So it's April, May 2026. If we are awarded a grant, we feel like we have a great opportunity here. We think we've picked up all the points we need, and we think we have a very competitive application. If we receive that award, the contracts would be signed in October of 26. That's the date that they are providing to us. And then you would get into the permitting phase, the studies, and the engineering construction plans. That would be a 12-month period ending in October 2027. Construction bidding phase, acquiring the contractor to build it. That'll take that last, 3 months of the year of 2027. And then construction would be throughout the 2028 year. It's a 3-year grant. So the grant project would then need to be completed by around the end of October 2029. So by this calendar, you can see that it's very unlikely that any funds would be expended on this project in this coming fiscal year that starts October 1st. And then only in that next year, that next fiscal year, the 2026, 2027 year, looks like it would only be professional services that would not exceed 118,000. And then you get into you don't even get into the construction phase until 2028. So that shows you how the grant calendar is spread out to meet the needs of the processing and the federal and state requirements. And so if you have any additional questions, love to answer them. And it's been great working with you all. And I want to appreciate and thanks your staff, Dustin, TJ, Reagan, Ken, um, your whole staff, Cody, your whole staff has been very helpful, particularly in those last days when we're answering those new questions that the state will pop up at you. And thank you all, and thank you to the commissioners. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, does anyone have questions for Jason?
Jason, speak to in-kind contributions by the county.
This, we don't have them listed explicitly, but the way, there's a lot of easy ways that it could be done within the construction documents. The way I see it, we could specify that they use county materials where possible, particularly like with the crushed aggregate stone in the paving for the RV pads, the picnic sites, the parking pads at the picnic sites, and the park, the 3,300 foot trail. All of that has, it's like 6 inches each of depth of crushed aggregate stone, and that'll be a way that we can work in that in-kind services.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Any other questions or comments? And I appreciate your kind words about staff. That certainly is no surprise to us, but I'm certainly glad when someone else gets a chance to work with them and find them to be as easy and professional as we do. So thank you on that. With that being said, if there's no other questions or comments, we do need to accept this for reporting purposes.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Jason, have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. You all too.
Yes, sir. All right, Dustin, are we ready to go ahead and get Irwin Construction up here?
Yes, sir. So we can start. We've got a few items here under O1. This McLennan County Downtown Jail Remodel Project. O1A is regarding the construction manager at risk agreement with John W. Irwin. O1A will be a construction progress update. Then O1B will be discussion and action on approval of an interim guaranteed maximum price proposal package number 3. And that includes an addendum. And then finally, on that portion, we'll have O1C as authorization of order approving guaranteed maximum price, guaranteed time of completion, and other matters. So Kevin and John, if y'all want to start with the update, and I think Mike would like to kind of discuss the interim GMP process after that.
Okay, sounds great. Good morning, gentlemen. How are y'all?
Good morning. Give me just a second. And
One second, we can get the visual up.
Let me know if you need help.
Fine.
To be determined.
Normally people laugh.
To be determined.
Yeah. But I know a guy in the back corner that can help, so.
that guy, so HDMI cable. See if that connects. All right. Did it without assistance. All right, good morning. Thanks for having us. So I'd kind of like to start with, obviously if folks are driving by, you can see what's going on, but I kind of like to start with an update relative to where we at as far as the actual work is concerned. So here's kind of an overview of the site. You can see our county provided construction laydown yard here in the background. And then you can see the project site in the foreground. So as of recently, some of the progress photos were taken over a week ago or so, but so we now finally have all the brick veneer off the building that's scheduled to be removed. They're in the process. If you walk out behind the historic courthouse today, there's a pile of brick and materials that they're in the process of, was scheduled for yesterday until we got the significant rains, get that hauled off, get that cleaned up. So that was kind of a big milestone relative to the work as far as the work is concerned to get that behind us. So let me kind of go down through the pages. So few other items of note. So there are 3 areas, if everybody kind of remembers, where we're expanding the footprint of the Judicial Center to enlarge it. There's the new kind of public lobby space on the Columbus Avenue side that creates a big L-shape addition to the building. There's also this secure rear entry elevator area here between the old jail and the existing county facilities and purchasing building. Kind of what you see in the picture there is the over excavation and new select fill that we had to bring in. They started last Friday. We're actually drilled concrete foundation piers back in that. We hope to complete that work within the next week. Kind of the same thing over at, you can kind of see some of the progress relative to the brick removals. Another item of note we've had for weeks now, we have our masonry subcontractor is on site. So they're in the process. You'll notice the exterior window openings are starting to get cleaned up, so we're basically reconstructing the exterior block walls of the old jail to the new configuration for the new window configurations. So that's going well. They're also inside the building. A couple of the new elevators, we've got new masonry shaft wall construction going on in addition to the redo of the exterior windows, so that's kind of a big milestone to get that work going. Here is what I call the public lobby expansion. This is on the Columbus Avenue side. There's a big L-shaped piece of the building that gets expanded onto and come out. So all the drill pier foundations were completed several weeks ago. They're actually excavating and have rebar installation going in. The structural engineers come in for an observation here tomorrow for all the new foundation grade beams and foundation steel. So here within the next week or so, we should pour all those foundations. All the new structural steel that will be erected here following the completion of the interior structural steel erection is already in fabrication. So I think we're thinking right now that we'll start this structural erection work on this part of the building. I think Cameron, our superintendent's targeting September, October-ish. So you'll start to see the new structure actually be erected there on the Columbus Avenue side. You can also see the steel guys are inside the building. This was where we had to take out the whole exterior wall, so we had to install all these new structural steel columns and beams to support that structure. This is where that existing structure will tie into this new lobby space, if that makes sense. Here's on the back side, about a week ago, you could see they were removing the last of the brick off the back side of the old jail and the connector bridge. But that, like I said, that is all completed now, and they're in the process of just hauling off and cleaning up. A few more spots inside. So there was 3 existing elevators that used to operate within the jail, 2 here in the main shaft, and 1 elevator that served the old little bridge that we were just looking at. Those have been completely removed. All the old elevator equipment, rails, ropes, wires, everything's gutted out now and removed. So we're actually in the process of, we only keep one of these 2 existing shafts in the new design. One gets filled in, the other one gets replaced with a new staff elevator. So we're in the process. Our concrete guys are down in the basement. We're finishing up the last little bit of demolition, and then we'll get the structural work for the new elevator pit configuration for that new staff elevator going. Our steel guys are on site full-time now, so we have down in the lower level, this is, if you remember, there's 4 columns that we have to install all the way from the basement to the top floor. There's large new trusses on the 2 floors with the 4 different courtrooms. They're erecting columns up the building. They got the lower level, level 1, level 2. They're erecting on 3 right now. Later this week, we should have some of the initial big truss material for level 3 show up on site, and they'll begin the erection of those large trusses. So that's all happening like we had talked about. That's needed so that we can then finish the last of some interior concrete demolition to create the open floor space for the 4 new courtrooms. So that's all going well. And we have a whole complement of iron workers. Here is, when you're looking at, this is one of the courtroom spaces that you're looking at. So where you can kind of see on the far side of the room where I'm hovering on the picture, if you can see my little mouse, that's where those new steel columns will go. The trusses will launch across the opening. That will then allow us to demolish this kind of large concrete, these concrete beams and concrete columns, and that will then create the full open floor space for one of the 4 new courtrooms. So that's all going well. So as soon as those trusses get erected, then we'll have the last of the demolition work on the project will be to remove these 2 columns and then these 3 beams that you're looking at that will then, like I said, create the open space for the courtrooms. Same thing, you can see kind of interior work going on, kind of in the background of each of these pictures. You can see our masonry operation is set up with our masonry subcontractor, rebuilding window openings. They're also in the background of this lower right picture. That's one of the new elevator shaft constructions for one of the new elevators that's being installed. You can also see in the upper right picture, there's some locations where we're not just recreating window openings, but we're closing in the old exterior wall from some of the old openings from some of the old jails. So all that is kind of happening simultaneously along with our interior steel erection work. Just a few more shots in the base. I think the one shot on the bottom left is kind of level 1. It's kind of hard to see, but on the ground and there's spots. All of the, and you can kind of see it in the picture on the right, you'll see those kind of strips on the floor. Basically what those strips are, as we talked about before, structurally strengthening the existing structure itself. That is that fiber polymer resin material that's put on to structurally strengthen the floors. That work is about 98% complete. There's one small area that we still have left to do. Most of the floors, you get it as a topside treatment on the floor itself. The actual lower level, we had to treat the top side of the floor as well as the underside of the structural deck there. If everybody remembers the first floor of this new facility will be the new district clerk's office. So there's a lot of areas with kind of higher density file storage. So there was a lot more of this structural strengthening that needed to be done on level 1. But the only thing they've got left to do is just a little bit of that work in the lower level on the underside of the existing structure. And they should be back either this week or next week to complete the last couple percentage of that little bit of work. Last picture this was from several weeks ago. This was when we were set up with our concrete drilled foundation pier operation there on the new lobby expansion. Again, they're in the alley right now between the courthouse and the facilities and purchasing building with a lot smaller rig, but we're getting those piers installed as we speak. So that's kind of the project update. A few other items of note really from the project side. Just some of the major project challenges to be aware of that we're working through right now. So one of the challenges in the old alley, there is a large steel natural gas main that we knew was in the alley, but since we've started work, Atmos Gas has visited the project. They had a major concern with the work that's being performed, and so they are in the process. They've got a redesign effort. They want to remove their old main, which not only feeds the county facilities on this block, but it also feeds your county records building across the way. It also feeds other properties continuing on the other side of 6th Street. So they're redesigning a main gas reroute that I think they'll tie in at 4th Street. I think they're looking at, we think, come up like Columbus Avenue. Then they'll tie back in 6th Street, and we've already got a plan in place for how the county's complex here on the historic courthouse grounds, and I'm talking the historic courthouse, the annex building, the new judicial center, as well as the facilities and purchasing building will be refed by Atmos Gas as part of the project. So it's a process that's going on. We're working through that. We're kind of, I think Atmos, we think, based on their last update, is in the final stages of having this reroute design complete. So hopefully we'll be able to see it in the next couple weeks. Basically, they just have a huge safety concern with, they as a company want to get their main out of that alleyway. Just because we're also, if you remember in the final design of this, that whole area becomes a brand new pedestrian plaza with brick pavers and all this. They just want to, from a liability standpoint, so if there are future issues with that main, which feeds more than just the county's properties, they're not having to get back in the alley, tear up pavers, dig through concrete. So it makes sense. It's just from a timing perspective, obviously we're working with Atmos and need to get that done.
Who's gonna pay for that?
Atmos gas. It's not a project cost.
Okay, good.
And the other thing that was discovered in the alley, and this was part of, if you know, right now, obviously, there's other utility work happening on Sixth Street, I think by the city of Waco. The work that's happening on Sixth Street with them digging in the street, it's utility-related work. There is an existing sanitary sewer main that runs down the length of the alley that takes sewer from the courthouse, the old jail, the annex building, but it also takes other non-county buildings further past Sixth Street. So they have a project now where they're redoing the sanitary city main in Sixth Street to take any load off our sanitary sewer line, or the county sanitary sewer line, in the alley. But in the process of them doing the work, it was discovered by our design team that along the length of the alley, there's like 19 other services, potential services that tie into that old existing sewer main in the alley. Part of our project is for about, just say, half the length of the alley, from the middle of the alley to Fifth Street, we were installing a brand-new sanitary sewer line that will take care of all the sanitary needs for the new judicial center. And then we were also picking up some of the old feeds to take care of the historic courthouse. Well, it was discovered that there's 19 other potentials tying into it. They don't think they're all active. They think they're old relics from back in the day from the courthouse that before code changes a long time ago, you used to be able to tie in your stormwater services into sanitary sewer lines. So they think there's a lot of old relics of old storm lines that were tied into that line, so they don't think they're active. There is one line that we're gonna have to tie into is that they didn't account for, was a feed from the annex building. So our sanitary sewer line is gonna have to be redesigned, and we're gonna have to extend it a quarter of the way towards Sixth Street to pick up the annex building. And then now that our brick demolition is completed, and once they get cleaned up, we're gonna work hand in hand with the design team. We're gonna have a little bit of what they call a potholing effort. We're gonna go find those 19 old services that they identified through a camera. Basically, the city ran a camera down that line and identified all this. We're gonna confirm whether they are active or not, and then we'll proceed with our sanitary sewer line. It's just a little bit of additional work and investigation that we need to do to kind of figure that out. So, just a couple major kind of side projects that could potentially have impact upon the work. So, anyway, that's kind of where we're at from a project standpoint right now.
Okay. That'd be 01A. Does anybody have questions or comments with regards to 01A? If not, we'll need a motion to accept it for recording purposes.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll move down to 01B at this time. Mike, is this where you're coming in?
Yes, sir. If you'll remember, when we started this project, it became very apparent that there wasn't an ability to come up with a overall GMP without knowing what was in there, and also timing was not going to allow us to get started on the work without doing interim GMPs. So the way it was broken up is that we'd have 3 phases, and those each have a interim GMP. And we've already approved the interim GMP number 1 and number 2. Number 3 is on for today, and then the next item after that will be to combine them into just a single GMP for the CMAR contract. But it's worked out very well because it's allowed us to start the work and actually get going without having to wait around and, for testing and all this stuff to try to figure out a total GMP for a project.
Okay. Does anyone have a question for Mike?
No. I mean, we're just proceeding like we've been in the past, aren't we, Mike? So moving forward with our.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. With that being said, anyone have any questions or comments about 01B? If not, I need a motion.
Do they
to-
have any?
Go ahead.
Do they
Yeah,
have any
so
comments?
just big picture, so this is our, what we call IGMP number 3. So if everybody remembers, the design team kind of issued their documents in 2 packages. The first package was allow us to get going with the physical work on the project, the demolition of the existing, our structural work, our structural concrete work, hiring, getting all the initial work done while the design team completed their documents. Well, they did complete their documents and they issued their package number 2. We came to the court several months ago with our IGMP number 2, which was some critical subcontractors that, to keep the schedule moving consistently, we needed to bring on board. This IGMP 3 is basically the balance of the work. So we've bid out all the work to the subcontracting community. We've done what we call internal buyout, which makes our selections and recommendations for all the different pieces and parts that we're gonna hire. This IGMP is just the culmination of the balance of the work. So this basically is the entire project now accounted for from a budget and bidding and construction perspective. So our current IGMP number 3 is the 13,496,461, and really what that is, the big picture, the additional subcontractors that we've got finalized values for and finalized proposed subcontracts with, is really it's all the interior architectural woodwork, it's all the cabinetry, it's the engineered stone and granite countertops. And I'm just kind of reading off the list of work that's in this. It's our sprayed fireproofing, it's all your doors, frames, and hardware. There is one overhead coiling door, it's all the flooring materials, it's all the wall tiling materials, it's all the room signs, interior lettering. There's some plaques and county seals associated with the work. It's all your toilet compartments, accessories, fire protection accessories. There's some metal gear lockers in several of the spaces. There's a wheelchair lift down in the lower level that facilitates, if there's an inmate being brought over to court, that they can basically make that transition from the dock level to the lower level. There's some fire pump revisions that had to be accommodated for as part of the design comments from the city. This is all your audio-visual systems, data systems, access control, video surveillance, fire detection, fire alarm systems. There's an emergency responder radio system that's included as part of the work to make sure emergency responders have consistent signal throughout the entire facilities if they ever respond to an emergency. It's all your landscaping, irrigation, pavers work, and some of the miscellaneous site elements. There's a handful of flagpoles, some site benches, site trash cans. So it's really just completing the balance of the work on the entire project is what this is. And so that final piece of it is that 13,496,461. And what, like Mr. Dixon was explaining, when that value is added to the prior 2 GMPs, it actually forms the basis for the entire guaranteed maximum price for the Judicial Center project. So, okay.
Any other questions, comments? We're just accepting addendum number 3 today, right, or the third phase of this?
Interim.
Yes, sir.
So,
The motion needs to be to accept the IGMP number 3 and the addendum number 2 for the price stated. Is that correct?
today's just improved. What we'll do after this is we'll have a vote on combining all 3. We've got 2 in place. Today we're voting on the 3rd one.
Yeah, there should be, if I'm correct, it's our IGMP, which I think in turn, Mike Dixon produced a contract amendment number 3. So the 3's marry up.
Mike, you want to join in here?
Right. We go ahead and the motion would be to approve the IGMP number 3 and the addendum to the CMA-R contract for number 3.
Okay.
Which is
That's the,
01,
that's the 13,496,461.
yeah.
Right.
This particular, we're just discussion and action approving the interim guaranteed maximum price proposal package number 3. And that's what 01B is. So do we, any questions on that? And then we can move to C, and actually that'll complete it once we get past that. So what I need is a motion to approve 01B, which is package number 3 of the approval addendum 3 to the construction manager at risk agreement.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion, we have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Which takes us to 01C, and this is combining all 3 of the packages into one. Mike, you have any comments on this?
Right. It just combines the packets to come up with a total guaranteed maximum price and also a total time for construction. And I think the guaranteed maximum price is total is $57,428,446. And the guaranteed time for construction is 814 days from February 23rd, 2024.
2025.
2025, yes.
Yes.
Or 2025,
Yeah,
sorry.
that was our first day on the project. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mike. Does anyone have questions or comments about 01C? Nope. If not, I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the order.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you
it. And I guess we'll be seeing you in the not too distant future.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank
appreciate
y'all
you
so
guys.
much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, Dustin.
If it's okay, we've got 2 other items related to this project that we can take care of while we're here.
Let's do it.
So 01D is authorization of application for partial payment number 8. This pay application totals $1,331,278. It's been reviewed by Ken, TJ, and myself, and also been signed off on by Brinkley Sargent, so it is recommended for approval.
Questions or comments? If not, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
02 is required in McLennan County downtown jail remodel for courtrooms and office space. Agreement with Brinkley Sargent Wigington. Authorization of invoice number 30. This invoice totals $26,935. It has been reviewed by our team and is recommended for approval.
Questions or comments? I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Now we can go back up to the top of the agenda and go to those items pulled from consent, if that's okay.
You bet. These guys are leaving happy. They got a payment approved in here today too, so it's.
Yeah, our accounting office, thanks you.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. All right, Dustin, if you would go right ahead.
All right, we'll move up to item E3A. It's an HR matter for juvenile detention. I'd like to call on Anna.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
E3A is a request from the Bill Logue facility from juvenile detention. They're requesting a rehire retiree, Cynthia Beltran. They want to hire her into a part-time control room position. We bring this forward because whenever a retiree retires, we put this on the agenda for approval to ensure it complies with the TCDRS service requirements, break-in service requirements, and this one does. This person filled out the employment application, meets the minimum requirements as outlined in the job description, And this person retired on October 22nd of 2024, and so they meet the 90-day required break-in service. So we recommend this for approval.
Okay.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
E3B is County Sheriff.
We have a request from the the sheriff's office. They want to fill a vacancy prior to the exhaustion of paid time off. This is a person exiting their personnel coordinator position. It's position 1573. The position will be vacant as of August 29th. That's this month. But they're not set to exhaust the PTO on the books until about September 23rd of 2025. And the sheriff's office requests the ability to fill the vacancy as soon as possible. This position functions as the sheriff's office primary point of contact for HR when it relates to jail applicant screening, testing, and hiring. And so they don't want any delays in that.
Okay. Anyone have a question, comment?
Y'all have somebody in mind for that, or?
Not that I'm aware of, sir.
No, I was asking, I'm sorry, Anna, the sheriff's department's here.
Yeah, they got the selection, but it's just a matter of that they take that position.
Moving over.
In the ground.
Okay.
Okay. Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
We'll move down to item F, bids, RFPs, RFQs. F1 is authorization of bid/RFP renewals. F1A is regarding RFP 12-014, electronic monitoring services with recovery monitoring solutions. Ken?
Yes, it's that time of year to consider the renewal of the electronic monitoring. We contacted the Recovery Monitoring Solutions. We checked with the judges. The judges are good with their services. We checked with the sheriff's office. They've had an extensive conversation with Recovery Monitoring Solutions, working out some let's say, just some areas of coverage there. And I believe they've come to a resolution. So it's recommended that we extend this agreement for another year, and that would be from 10/1/2025 through 9/30/2026. Oh, and no additional cost for the services.
Questions or comments for Ken? If not, I need a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
F1B is regarding bid 21-019, inmate personal items with ICS jail supplies. And Ken, I believe this needs to be deferred. Is that correct?
We're going to defer, but I just make a comment that many of the items that we supply under this contract are low-cost items that come from China. And so the tariff situation is starting to get them. We're going to have conversations with ICS, see if there might be other items that might not fall under that tariff situation, see if we can't work with the Sheriff's Office. If we need to make some changes in what we're being supplied, then we'll come back with a little bit better recommendation.
I certainly hope we could find someone in the United States that could handle
Well,
that. So that,
we're asking the question.
absolutely. Okay. Need a motion to defer.
So move. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
F1C is regarding RFP 24-016, McLennan County Pauper Burial Cremation Services with Lakeshore Funeral Home and Crematory. Ken?
We've checked with Heather in Health Services. She basically kind of runs this contract. We did reach out to Lakeshore Funeral Home, and they would like to consider, they would like to continue services, requesting a 3% increase on their contract. I will say that we do have that built into our contract that they can request that. Their reasoning for the request isn't very clear or very good explanation, but looking at what's going on with the inflation rates and stuff, our inflation rate for 2025 is expected to be somewhere between 2.7, 3.2%. And some forecasters are expecting maybe a peak around 4%. So I don't think the request is totally unreasonable. And if approved by the court, this would extend the contract from October 1, 2025 through September 30th of 2026.
Ken, you and Heather are happy with the performance?
Well, checking, yes, I think Heather made the statement that it's run smoother this year than it has been for a long, long time. So
it's a quality operation out there for sure.
And I know that we've had some situations in our past that it didn't run so smooth.
Yes, sir.
Ken, was this a bid item,
It was,
seal bid?
yes,
Okay. How many bids did we get?
one.
One? Okay. And I guess my next question, are we up against a deadline to get this renewed today?
No, it doesn't actually have to renew until October 1.
Till October?
We just start early in case there's,
Are we at a price in what it cost us a year for pauper burials, cremations, that it has to be bid, or can it be quotes?
well, we can't, it has been past that. Now, remembering that our bid limit is going to increase to $100,000 come September 1, which I'll be bringing a request to the court on September 2nd. I may be getting off in the weeds.
No, that's okay. I appreciate the info.
For a change in policy to reflect that $100,000 bid limit. It's one of those things that you can't tell, and so
Right.
it's been one of those that I've always been afraid it has exceeded in the past our bid limit, so that's the reason.
And this year, we're on track to be under, aren't we, though?
I believe, checking with Heather, that was correct. I think currently we're at about 32,000
I think that's
this
right.
year.
I think that's right. Yeah.
We're projecting to spend about 45,000 for this current fiscal year.
Okay. Which would put us well under that 100,000 the next time around. All right, okay. If y'all's recommendation is to go ahead and approve it, and it comes from both you and Heather, that's fine.
Well, and Heather's here now, so Heather, would you like to comment?
Nope, just wanted to be here in case there was any additional questions, but everything that's been said, I agree with, and the numbers are right. So historically, I mean, in FY '23, we finished out at 96,855. Last year, 55,500. We're down trending. So even with the increase, we're looking at like $1,000 added to the budget overall over the course of a year.
Okay.
But you see, like 3 years ago, we were bumping right up to that 100,000.
Kudos to our health department for managing that and getting it where it needs to be.
Yeah, it's been doing well.
And it's interesting that no one else responded. That's kind of tells the story.
I need to say this, it's not a lack of trying either. I mean, we've had personal conversations with different, it's not something some funeral homes want to get into.
Right. Commissioner Jones?
It's complicated, and it's, kind of a sensitive issue. And so I applaud them for taking it up, and they have seemed to, when we have a request, they've accommodated quite well.
They seem to, and I agree. I have nothing but great things to say about them. So if there's any other questions or comments, if not, I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the renewal of RFP 24-016.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
F1D is regarding RFP 24-017, McLennan County Transportation of Deceased with Central Texas Mortuary. Ken?
Again, this is a service that we bid out last year. We checked with the JPs. Everyone is happy with the service. We checked with Central Texas Mortuary. They're willing to renew this for another year at no additional fees. And so we recommend a renewal from October 1, 2025 through September 30th, 2026.
Questions or comments? Need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve renewal for RFP 24017.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
F2 is authorization of recommendation for bid 25-013, McLennan County Justice of the Peace Precinct 5 Edition. Ken?
Yes, sir. We opened this bid on August 5th and reviewing the numbers. We received bids from Majestic Services, Inc. And I'm going to tell you the bottom number. This is the base bid, including the add alternates number 1 and add alternates number 2. So the total amount that they bid was $472,693.50. CWA Federal Construction bid a total of $427,726. HCS Inc. bid a total of $401,614. Barsh Company bid a total of $440,289. It's recommended we grant the award for McLennan County JP 5 Edition HCS Inc. for the sum of $401,614. And just as an explanation, if you didn't see the note, it's add alternate number 1 was to remove existing carpet in the courtroom and replace with new carpet tiles. And add alternate number 2 was to add a concrete driveway to the west side of the property, kind of circling around the back, and add a privacy fence to the, if you're facing the building, to the right side of the property. It's recommended we go with HCS as they submitted the low bid. And we had myself, TJ, and Daryl Vickers all reviewed the bids, and so we all in agreement.
Anyone have a question or comment for Ken?
It's kind of weird that Barsh, just on the driveway, was a crazy number because they were good on everything else.
Yes. Because it's a bid, I don't really get into a whole lot of questions about what they were doing different.
Right.
I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Under item G, contracts and local agreements, G1 is authorization of professional services agreement and related construction materials testing proposal with Langerman Engineering for Justice of the Peace Precinct 5 Office Edition. TJ?
Good morning, TJ.
Good morning.
TJ.
So we'll put this one on the back burner for a couple of sessions now. Now that the contract is approved with HCS, we'd like to go ahead and move forward with it.
Is that all you got?
That's it. That's all I got.
It's all broken out. Motion to approve.
Can't even ask a question on that. Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for your efficiency in that. TJ.
What took so long?
G2 is authorization of support and maintenance agreement with Excella Technologies for records management. John?
Let me see if John can beat that.
No way.
It's good. It's just one of our excuse me, our scanner for the records management department. It's gone up roughly $208 or so. It is recommended for approval.
Okay. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
G4 is authorization of agreement proposal with CoFile Technologies for preserving, imaging, and indexing district clerk's civil case files. And this goes along with the budget amendment, and I don't believe John Gimbel is on. So essentially, it is what it said. It's for preserving, imaging, and indexing district clerk's civil case files. It totals $59,417.25.
And do we know how big an increase this is, or if it's
I believe it's a new.
It's a new contract?
It's a new project. Yes,
It's a new
sir.
project. Yeah. It's a different.
Okay.
168 volumes, 168 volumes, total estimated quantities, that's a huge number that they're trying to get indexed.
Any questions or comments? If not, I need a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Right, G5 is authorization of interlocal agreement with Office of Court Administration for Internet Services for the 10th Court of Appeals. John?
Morning again. So this is, we had a contract for 5 years that expires on September 1st with the Office of Court Administration to provide internet service for the 10th Court of Appeals. Now, they want to renew for 2 years now, and they wanted to upgrade from 500 to 1 gigabit. That's a mistake in there. It says 50. It should be, sorry, that's 50. That's correct.
Okay. Anybody have a question or comment? If not, I need a motion to approve.
So move.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
G6 is regarding the software as a service agreement with Tyler Technologies, authorization of amendment for Tyler Justice Case Access. John?
Excuse me, this is an amendment to the original contract, but it has no dollars associated with it. They're literally just changing the words Art Research Texas to Justice Case Access. It has been looked at by the steering committee and has been recommended for approval.
Okay.
Motion to approve the amendment with Tyler Technologies.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
G7 is authorization of service agreements and related sales order forms with CTWP. G7A is regarding copier for health services, and G7B is regarding a copier for the district clerk. Ken?
Yes. Again, it comes in two parts. There's the service agreement, which is basically a maintenance agreement, and then the sales order form for the health services. The service agreement is for $1,087.92 per, 90 cents per year. Basically, it's for a 60-month deal. That gets you 34,992 black and white copies, 7,992 color copies for the service agreement. And then on the G7B is for a copier, again, it's very similar. It's a service agreement for 60 months. The service agreement is $1,423.97. It's for 29,996 black and white copies, 12,000 color copies. And then the sales order form, the copier costs $17,251.54.
Okay. No one has questions or comments. I need a motion to approve G7A and G7B.
Move to approve G7A, G7B as recommended.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
G8 is authorization of accreditation agreement with Texas Police Chiefs Association Foundation for their Texas Best Practice Program and Constable Precinct 1. Is April in court?
She's not
No.
at the moment.
Okay, so essentially, this is just an agreement that lays out what the constable's office will provide. They'll provide the rest of the documentation, information, and do the self-assessments. It lays out the annual fees associated with the program. Um, and so it is recommended for approval, and if we need to, ask April any questions, I'm sure we can get her in court.
Does anyone have a question?
A couple shortly, but, Dustin, you may be able to answer them. Who pays for it, and what's our number of sworn personnel that will be fee assessed here?
It would be the county would pay, and I don't know that number.
I think I heard April.
Thinking it's around that 10, that first or second tier, Commissioner.
I heard April.
But I don't see it in
Is
the
April
paperwork.
on?
I'm here.
Did you hear Commissioner Smith's questions?
You want to know how many sworn?
Yeah, they have different fee breakdowns here for number of sworn personnel. So where do y'all fall in with sworn personnel?
We're under 20. I think, I don't remember the, let me see the numbers.
Okay, well, if you're under 20, that narrows it down to where we're looking then. And the
Okay.
fee is a county, is this a request for the county to pay this?
Well, it comes out of our already approved budget. We don't ask any other fees or any funding.
I understand that, not a problem. Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Under item H, capital improvement and construction projects, there's 3 here for Amy. I'll read them in if that's okay. H1 is Chapel Road Improvements, bid 23-013. Agreement with Casparian Underground, doing business as H&B Contractors, authorization of application for payment number 17. H2 is regarding Patton Branch Road at Aquila Creek Low Water Crossing Culvert Replacement Project, agreement with BGE, authorization of their June invoice. And H3 is regarding the South Old Bruceville Road at Tributary to Prather Creek Culvert Replacement Project, agreement with BGE, authorization of June invoice. Amy?
Morning.
Good morning. Just to let you know, on Chapel Road, they should have started yesterday, but the rain held us off, but we're doing final paving from Farm Miller to Old Arena, so that should be done hopefully by the end of this week. I think they'll be pushing hard to complete that paving this week, so we'll be done on that end except for some little odds and ends, which is wonderful news, I'm sure, for the people who live out there. Patton Branch, this is just the bill for BGE for the bidding phase. So we did bid last week. We got 2 bidders. We got great bids below the engineer's estimate. So we'll be bringing a recommendation to approve next Commissioner's Court for you. And South Old Bruceville is also just for the consultant to do the construction inspection. That's moving a little slower than we had wanted to, but it's still planned to be finished on time. It had to do with an issue with not being able to get the precast, so they had to do cast in place, so it's taken a little longer.
What is the estimated finish date on it?
They're going to be done, they should have passable before school starts. That was always our
Oh, wow.
goal. Yeah.
Okay, we're right on top of it.
We're getting there.
Great.
I mean, fingers crossed, yeah. I don't know if the rain did anything to them. I haven't been out there to check
Sure.
on it this week. But
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments for Amy? Good. If not, I'd like to take H1, H2, and H3 all together.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
Thank you, Amy.
All right, moving on to item I, budget amendments. I1s regarding the FY25 budget. Francis?
Yeah, so I'll cover the budget amendment, starting with I1A. So I1A is a certification of revenue related to an interlocal agreement with the city of Golson in the amount of $112,222. And so there is a budget amendment that's attached there. So Road and Bridge 3 is requesting to increase a corresponding line, which is road construction materials, in that same amount. I1B1. This is for capital outlay, specifically for the district clerk. This was an item that you just approved a few minutes ago, and this is for their new multifunction printer copier. So we're asking to increase capital outlay by that amount needed, and then the district clerk has found the funds within their department And those lines include supplies, furniture and equipment, and other services and charges. I-1B2, also district clerk related. This is a special revenue fund, Fund 120, the County Records Management and Preservation Fund. And so this is an amendment within that special revenue fund to increase the line to help cover the cost for the co-file agreement that you also approved earlier. And so the request is to move $30,000 from contingencies into that conservation restoration line. I-1C, this is General Fund Constable Precinct 1. They are requesting to increase their part-time pay line. They are requesting to move from their motor vehicle operating fuel line within their department. And so this should cover their part-time pay cost for the remainder of the year. I-1D, this is General Fund Engineering. This is a request to move within the engineering department into repairs and maintenance for maintenance agreements on equipment as well as repairs to vehicles, an increase to software licensing and support for 2 CAD licenses, and then an increase to professional development for an additional training for the county engineer for this fiscal year. I-1E, this is Fund 130. This is a special revenue fund. It is the Justice Court Building Security Fund. And this is a request to move within that fund into the line item for furniture and equipment for JP2. And this will cover the purchase of a security monitor. I-1F, this is in Fund 418, which is our venue project construction fund. And so this is a request to move, of course, within those venue project funds into the line item for software licensing. This was related to an extra code technology quote that you approved on a previous agenda, as well as an increase to repair and maintenance for some Lockridge Priest and Brazos Media invoices that are needed for repairs at the base. I-1G, this is General Fund Health Services, as well as an increase to capital outlay. So you'll see there an increase to capital outlay for the purchase of that printer. Again, you approved that, that agreement earlier on. They are also requesting to increase repair and maintenance, furniture and equipment, and software licensing, all by moving from the pauper burials line within their department. I-1H, this is General Fund Countywide Department, and this is to spread the amount we budget for incentive pay to all of the departments. So now that incentive pay has been completed, we know those exact amounts. You'll just see that we're moving from the incentive pay line in the countywide department, and that total was $514,030, and then spreading it to each line in each department. I-1I, this is General Fund Information Technology. They are requesting to move within their department into furniture and equipment to purchase switches and access points in this fiscal year, and also just a slight increase to professional development to cover costs they have this fiscal year. I-1J, this is General Fund JP Precinct 4, requesting to move within their department to accommodate cost in postage and shipping and travel reimbursement for the current fiscal year. I-1K, this is General Fund Maintenance of Buildings. So this is a request to increase the repair and maintenance line. And so, of course, that line holds all of the costs for all of the repair and maintenance that occurs on all facilities and runs through the Maintenance of Buildings Department. And then also an increase to other services and charges for costs for the remainder of the year. And I just want to point out on this budget amendment, we are asking to move from contingencies for that increase to repair and maintenance. That's the only budget amendment today that is a part of a request. But as you'll see there, our contingencies balance, if approved, would be right at $773,000. So less than 2 months left of the fiscal year. It looks like we've spent about half of our contingencies that we budgeted. So I think that line is looking really good at this point in the year. I1L, this is general fund maintenance of equipment, requesting to move from a line item for stray expenditures in the sheriff's office into the professional development line. So you'll see they didn't have anything budgeted there, but they do have a need for training for their employees. And so accommodating those costs there by moving into professional development. I1M, this is Road and Bridge Precinct 1, requesting to move within their department into supplies, road construction materials, other services and charges, and repair and maintenance for cost, of course, for the next 2 months for the rest of the fiscal year. I1N, this is General Fund Road and Bridge 3, also requesting to move from other lines in their department to increase other services and charges and professional development. I1O, this is General Fund Road and Bridge Precinct 4, requesting to move within that department into motor vehicle operating, tires, tubes, and batteries, and repair and maintenance. I1P, this is the Resource Connections Department, just requesting to move a small amount there between other services and charges and supplies for postage and other supply cost that they anticipate seeing before the end of the year. I1Q, this is Sheriff and Jail. The request is to increase other services and charges and professional development in the Sheriff's Department, and then outsourced prisoner transport in the jail. And then they have found those amounts to move from within departments under their umbrella. I1R, this is General Fund Veteran Service Officer, request to move within that department into supplies for cost for the remainder of the year. I'm happy to answer any questions, but I believe that sums up items I1A through I1R.
Okay. Did anybody have a question or comment? If not, that's quite a list, but I need a motion to approve I1A through I1R.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right,
Justin, did you-
I1S, sorry, Commissioner, go ahead.
I was just making sure you were still with us.
Yes, sir. I1S is authorization of Texas Association of Counties claim deductible invoices. I1S1 is the invoice associated with John Montgomery. It totals $3,648.39. This was a claim against multiple county officials that has been dismissed. And then I1S2 is regarding an invoice associated with Brian Parr. This was a law enforcement matter. It totals $3,120. Both have been reviewed and are recommended for approval.
Can I get a motion to approve I1S1 and I1S2?
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Could we take a bite?
All right, I,
We'll take a break.
Yeah, can we get through I? Would y'all be all right with that? We got two more.
Well, I2B is pretty lengthy, though.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that then. We'll take a recess, 5 minutes. I2A. You're going to defer that?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes, yes, we're going to defer that to our next meeting. I2B, McLennan County 911 Emergency Assistant District discussion regarding the 2025-2026 budget. And I'm doing your job, Dustin, I'm sorry.
You're good. You can keep going.
But if anyone has any questions or comments with regards to the budget, we have a new representative, Commissioner Wilson. And he said he could describe, or
Yeah.
discuss this in detail.
I don't know about that.
Dustin, bottom line,
Been to one meeting.
bottom line with the proposed budget expenses, doubling the proposed revenue, how does that work out? Am I reading, where am I reading? Explain that to me.
Let's see. You know, I know, I'm looking, Commissioner.
While he's looking, what we may be seeing is the state funding is killing 911 right now. And so unless there's something done in this special session or in the next biennium, 911 is really struggling for revenue because that's where the majority of it comes from.
But doubling in one year, doubling their expenses in 1 year.
Their budget went up more from 2.1 to 4.7.
In 1 year.
Well, if you'll look at where it says 2.36 in operation expenses, last year was 1.9. The increase is due to recurring costs associated with scheduled replacement of the 911 workstations and software at all PSAPs.
And I understand that, Commissioner, but I'm wondering, couldn't it have been split up maybe over 2 years? I mean, I guess bottom line is, what is it going to cost us? Where's the request for bottom line on our cost?
This doesn't affect our budget. This is just something that has to occur.
This is something that they work through. All they do is they send this to us to get approval, just so we know what's going on over there and that we do have representatives that are sitting on the board that represent us.
Where are they going to get the money?
Commissioner, that's what I was just telling you. It's getting pretty serious. So they have there is a contingency there. It won't last long.
No, it won't at that rate.
But these are things that are going on and they keep kicking the can down the road as they do with so many other things with regards to 911. It truly is, and Deal.
The legislation fee's been 50 cents since 1996 per phone line.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, that it stayed like that, so.
So they have no discretion over, like wireline, revenue, wireless, voice over internet protocols? They can't.
It's all state mandated.
So they have no other source of revenue then, other than what the states, or what the state dictates? Well, it looks like to me the state's putting them in a pretty good hole.
They are. That's why we have a new representative on the 911 board.
He's gonna carry, okay, well, that'll take care of that problem then.
Well, there's a $6.4 million fund balance. And they'll.
That'll be gone in 2-3 years if they don't do something.
Correct.
Well, that's what the plan is. So things are gonna have to change drastically, especially in McLennan County in the next 2 or 3 years.
But anyway, this is basically for information purposes. And your questions are very valid, Commissioner. We do have a concern going forward.
No kidding.
So
And I think we can submit written comments back and those would be presented to the board. But that's essentially, as Commissioner Perry said, that's essentially our role is just review and we can provide comments, but that's about it.
So it says a decision of the Commissioners Court. Do we need to approve this or just
yes, sir. Just for recording purposes.
for recording purposes? Okay.
So they're spending $1.3 million on new call handling equipment? That's the big?
Yes, that's the biggest one. And then
one.
And that has to be changed out every so many years. It's kind of weird how that.
Well, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but the newer version that's coming on has the
GPS
in it.
Yeah.
So now if you call from a building, it can pinpoint where you call from the building.
Okay. Same thing true with wireless, with GPSs, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, any other questions, comments?
That's tough.
If not, I need a motion to approve for recording purposes.
A motion to approve for recording purposes.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Great discussion, great questions, guys.
We have nothing under item J, real estate this week. Under item K, grant proposals. K1 is our ARPA discussion. Under it, we have K1A regarding the subrecipient agreement with the City of West, authorization of draw request number 1. Francis?
And we need to defer that again today.
Motion to defer.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
K1B is regarding the professional services agreement with Orvis Mazars, authorization of grant management service invoice through June 2025. This invoice totals $7,431.84, and it's for those grant management services through May 31st. It is recommended for approval.
Questions or comments?
Motion to approve invoice. Orvis.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
K1C is regarding the McLennan County ARPA HVAC renovation project, agreement with Lockridge Priest, authorization and pay application number 7. Ken?
Yes, this pay application is the amount of $1,199,047.98. Visited with TJ. We're good with this payment request. We had a meeting with them the other day to check on status. Everything's moving well, so we recommend approval.
Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
K2 is regarding the rural law enforcement grant, Senate Bill 22, authorization of funding allocation for the sheriff's office. I'd like to call on Major Ives.
In discussions with the auditor's office, we just needed to clean up the amounts for this request. It wasn't super specific, or it was, there was some gray area on how the money was going to be assigned to the personnel, and now we've gone through and cleaned that up with the auditor to make this the final numbers for the allocation of those funds.
Okay, Francis?
And, just to add to that, so there's $336,039 remaining, and that will be used to cover salaries or increases from the prior year. That has been incorporated into the budget projections that we've been looking at through the budget workshops as well.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Questions or comments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Right, moving down to item L, Department Office Specific Request. L1 is Criminal District Attorney, authorization of cybersecurity training exemption request form. John?
Yes, so whenever someone wants to be exempted from the cybersecurity, the annual cybersecurity training, in other words, they use their computer less than 25% of their job. So this is for a request for Dominique Nelson, who actually works with Hot BHN. So we agree with the request.
Okay.
Don't we usually submit a list at one time, and then if they're
We usually do.
accepted-
This is the only one we
This
have
was
at
an
the moment.
exception, yeah, I was thinking.
And
Want to
everything-
make sure mine got in there.
Everything was due August 1st. That's why it's coming to you now.
Right, okay. Motion to approve the request.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
L2 is County Sheriff, authorizations regarding use of tax settlement funds for fleet vehicle equipment. I'd like to call on Major Ives.
This is a request to use tax settlement funds. This is not from auction proceeds. This is from a total loss settlement on a vehicle. And we're using those to outfit 2 of the SB 22 vehicles we purchased with SB 22 money. That includes a organization box in the back and then a bracket for that organization box.
Okay. Questions or comments?
Probably an investigator.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is for an investigator.
Very good. Motion to approve L2.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Major.
L3 sorry, Commissioner. L3 is elections, authorization of office closure. Elections is requesting to close their office on Monday, August the 11th. There is a Texas Secretary of State's Election Division annual election law seminar that day. The entire staff will be attending this seminar. And our office and HR have both offered to cover the phones that day, so the phones will be forwarded and will be answered. So it's recommended to approve this.
I need a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Is this something we've done in the past, Dustin, and normally?
We've done it for different offices from time to time, Commissioner, and we just kind of take them on a case-by-case basis and bring to y'all.
Okay, all right, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
L4, purchasing, authorization to use county credit card for new vehicle registrations. Ken?
As the court may be aware, the state did away with paper tags on vehicles. So now when we buy a new one, we could run it with the paper plate until we got the regular plates in. Well, so that is not existent anymore, on a limited number anyway. So if we get a car in and we have to wait for a check to send in for a plate, it's just going to take that much more time if someone needs to use the vehicle. So we're requesting kind of a blanket approval to use purchasing cards to submit to pay for plates for new vehicles that we get.
Okay, any questions or comments?
Makes sense.
Need a
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Under item M, additional items for discussion and potential action. M1 is discussion regarding the 89th legislative session bill, special session items and related matters. This is on in case the court would like to discuss anything. One that we do want to highlight is the change in the posting requirements under the Open Meetings Act. That's now going to require them to be posted, notice to be posted for 3 full business days before the scheduled meeting. That starts September the 1st. So that's essentially going to do away with supplemental agendas for us. We will have to post by close of business on Wednesday for a Tuesday court session. So just kind of a heads up of that change that will be coming.
Okay, is that something we need to vote on just for recording
No,
purposes?
sir, it's just an FYI.
Okay.
I think, aren't they still waiting for some clarification regarding, like, if your business is closed for a holiday, does that count as a business day and so forth?
That's right. Yes, sir. That's right. So we'll be monitoring that. And if y'all see any guidance out there too, please let us know. So, all right, moving on to item N, Americans with Disabilities Compliance Project. N1 is authorization of professional services invoice with CP&Y doing business as STV. N1A is regarding the ADA study report for June. It totals $314.50 and is recommended for approval.
Motion to approve the invoice from STV.
I'll second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
N1B regarding records building ADA renovations for June. This invoice totals $5,448. It has been reviewed and is recommended for approval.
Questions or comments?
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And I know we did a lot of skipping around, so just want to confirm that we did hit all those action items.
That's correct, Dustin.
We're there?
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else that needs to come before the court? If not, we're adjourned.
Everybody ready?